Radio.
Free Diddy!
Welcome to the war room. We got Dad, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, a hot commander. To you how you want it in the 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topics, sorta like some rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerate to speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What up, sports nuts? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on that WRS Podcast Network. I'm Devin McMillan. I'm at the round table as usual with my people. We got Jimmy the Blueprint Williams and the Bull B. Austin. The NBA draft is upon us, and we'll talk about the top picks, and we'll provide live analysis at the start of the draft in a little over an hour. But in the meanwhile, we got plenty of other sports stories we want to rap about, so keep it locked right here. And if you want to get in on the live conversation, join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 30 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. But before we get started, like we always do around this time, make sure you guys remember to make the War Room Sports Podcast Network a major part of your daily routine. When we're not live on the air, visit warroomsports.com, click the WRS Podcast Network tab, or listen on the War Room Sports mobile app or on iTunes. You'll find some of the best shows the web has to offer, sports and non-sports. And you can listen to archive episodes of our show, The War Room, The Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, After Further Review with the Mayor, The Tissue and the Tape Hip-Hop Show with Phil and Savad, Sports Trap Radio with Brandon and Anthony, the Mad Scientist Sports Lab with Nick Ficarelli, and a whole lot more. You can also check the listings over at fatsradio.com. That's PHATZ radio.com for syndicated airtimes of all your favorite WRSPN sports shows, including the War Room, which airs over there a few times a week. Yo, what up, Generals? What's going on? I just have to make, before we get started, man, I have to make an apology. I want to apologize to all African-American people of current day and days past in America for the ugly institution of slavery. I feel because I'm in a position of power now that I should be the one responsible for apologizing for such a heinous institution, and, you know, that gets President Obama off the hook. What up, fellas? What's up with that nonsense, man?
Aren't you black? Aren't you black?
Man.
Yo, cause
exactly.
I don't know where this country is going, man, but like every day, I feel. Here's what I feel like, right? When you look at the news every day, I feel like the Onion at this point has to be irrelevant because the real news is just as crazy as the Onion now.
So
like,
you feel like you're getting punked every time you look at the news?
No, every time I look at it, I'm like, this got to be the Onion. It must be an Onion article. But then you look at it like, yo, this is the real news. Race relations have went back 300 years. Yo, my man Donald Trump called every Mexican a drug dealer.
Yo, they're asking black people to apologize for slavery now, man. Come on, man.
Yo, everything. Like my man B. Austin broke down World Star videos for me yesterday, how young boys just snitch on each other. It's like, yo, young chicks have no like pride. Young men have no pride. I can't tell the difference between a boy or a girl or a man or a woman.
We got current generation guys arguing that the past doesn't matter and that history started in the 80s.
Yo, it's like, and it's amazing, right? It's amazing, man. Like in terms of the sports argument thing we just talking about, like, I just want to say to people who maybe listen to this, who are listening right now live or listening to the podcast, like, yo, I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but the one thing I do know how to do is use Google. Google allows you to be dumb. Google allows you to be dumb in 2015. But the thing is, so many people have pride, they refuse to, like, just go look it up. They'd rather just talk off the cuff. Like, I'll duck away and look things up. That's what Google is for.
Yo, knowledge is at your fingertips. Don't be dumb. Yo, be steadfast in the war against ignorance. Don't add to it.
Yo, I just don't understand it.
Speaking of Donald Trump, in Mexico. Just had to ask you brothers one more question before we get started. I just wanted to know, the next time you two brothers are in Mexico, Missouri, y'all gonna stop by and see Tyronn Lue Boulevard or what?
Yo, that joint like 3 square, like not 3 square blocks, 3 little blocks in front of your crib.
3 little blocks, and they break the street up. Yo,
so he didn't get 4 blocks. Like you can't even play a game of king ball on his boulevard.
Nah, you can't. They cut his street off a couple of times.
Yo, it's crazy, man. But yo, shout to him anyway, because when you look at his accomplishments, the fact that he does what he does, and he probably will be the next Cavaliers coach. And he came out of that little town, so he did something with his life. He could be out here making World Star videos.
World Star? Well, he made one when AI stepped over him. That's a different story because that's still on World Star.
All right. It's funny how at this point, Dev, AI's career is relegated to like the Michael Jordan crossover in Tyronn Lue. Like all the big shots and everything you do. That's it. That's all they show ever.
He stepped over Tyronn Lue, who wasn't that good to begin with. All right, man. Well, let's get into some of these topics, man. It was a crazy week in sports, and we got this NBA draft to get to later on in the show. So, Jimmy, let everybody know what happened this week while they were on that grind.
While you were on the grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, which includes the NFL Sunday Ticket, go to our website. That's warroomsports.com. Click on that DirecTV logo and order a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. If you call yourself a fan, you got to have DirecTV. Man, so many crazy stories. Let's start with this story. This was a huge story in the course of the week. Sean Puffy, P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop Combs was arrested at UCLA for allegedly assaulting one of his son's coaches. You know what I mean? There was rumors of the kettlebell. There was rumors that the coach, got indignant with Diddy and his son. I mean, I don't know what's true. I've heard so many stories. But the bottom line is my man Diddy got locked up in a college jail for beefing with the UCLA coach. Now, I've heard all kinds of stories about the UCLA coach and what he did when he was the assistant coach in the league. Remember the guy that tripped the player in the Jets-Dolphins game?
Yeah, that cat.
That was allegedly him, right?
Yeah, it was him. It was that dude.
So he has a reputation.
If you want to come to a college where you ain't got to worry about your dad rumbling with the coaches and getting all up in the videos.
Come on over to Death Row.
What I'm saying is Diddy in his old age, is just swinging on cats. Like, he stole Drake. He going after a coach. What's up with your man Diddy, man? That's y'all Howard Muhammad.
Yeah, is he? But he got a doctorate now. But so what you said, charge of assault with a deadly weapon, which was the kettlebell. He also was charged with 1 count of making terroristic threats and 1 count of battery. For everybody out there, like Jimmy said, his son is a air quotes defensive back on the UCLA football team. And I don't know, I guess because I hear this story has so many layers because everything is being peeled back now. A lot of people are confirming, quote unquote, sources close to the program are saying, Justin only got into the school and on the team because of how high profile his dad was. But it seems like a lot of people is taking Puffy's back on this. The 90s naming Puffy, I'm going to call him Puffy. A lot of people taking Puff's back on this because you hear a lot of cats stepping up, especially those guys who played for this guy or against this guy in the NFL, stepping up and basically telling you how much of a jackass he is, just stopping short of saying whatever happened to him by Puff, the dude deserved. So it seems like, a lot of quote unquote indirect character witnesses are coming out in defense of Puff on this one. So who knows? But what do you guys think about, you're on a football team, so it kind of gets rough with your coaches sometimes. The saying is, if they're not riding you hard, then they really don't care about you. That's when you really should start worrying. So if a coach is cursing out his son, what do y'all think? Should fathers step into situations like this? Why is he there?
Absolutely not. I mean, on one level, this coach could be an a-hole. he could be a horrible human being. But when you leave high school, at that point, you should be equipped with the skills within your character and your mental and the intestinal fortitude that kind of reaches up to your heart to be able to stand up and kind of be a man and handle yourself. Now, it's okay to call your pop and say, Dad, I'm having some issues. What's your fatherly advice for me? You know, hopefully the relationship is such that, you know, you guys can have a honest conversation. Your dad can give you some advice. But unless it's a life or death situation, or your son is being abused, which is at the point where you're in college and you're on a NCAA Division I football team, you know, I would hope you're not being abused, although we have seen an offensive lineman in the NFL almost die from abuse and bullying. But I would hope that Puffy's son can handle his own. So a part of this is Puff's ego and Puff being Puff, thinking that he owns the world, going and stepping beyond his bounds to deal with an issue. Like I'm not, based on the responses from people, I'm sure that this coach is culpable in this and is probably an a-hole. But we all know plenty of coaches that are a-holes. Bobby Knight used to whoop his players' tails, but that doesn't mean your dad is supposed to come and save you. Like, you got to handle that.
I don't know. I probably would have handled Bobby Knight if my son played for Bobby. I'd have whooped his ass. I'd have whooped his ass. He threw chairs at people.
Let me jump in real fast. Shout out to @KCMax38 on Twitter. He chimes in a couple times. He just wants y'all to know before we even get into the whole Diddy thing that even though Tyronn Lue was born in Mexico, he was raised in KC, and they won 30-1 his senior year, and the tallest player on the team was 6'1". So he's out here repping for Tyronn Lue. So shout out to that.
So but, is that props to? But listen, is that props to KC, or is that an indictment on the basketball situation in Kansas City?
I mean, that wasn't me, KC Max.
I'm just asking. Because you ain't winning the trip in Philly with nobody over 6'1". You're not doing
it. Hey, KC Mac, that's that question whether y'all got ballers in KC. That's not me. So now you're down KC Mac. What you got to do is you got to come back and tell us at least one pro that came from KC, man. We need to know. But his second point about Justin, he says, no, not him. He came back and he said that Justin is 20 years old. So he's a grown-ass man at this point. But the thing about it is, one thing, and both of you gentlemen are parents, and, you know, so you will notice that parenting never stops. So if Diddy just happens to be there, and something happens, like, I still think he may have been out of line, but at the same time, as a parent, like Dev just said,
human nature.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, the coach was so allegedly, from what some of the players are saying, the coach was being extra because Diddy was there, using his name and talking trash. Now, I'm not condoning what he did, but what I'm saying is emotions are emotions. And yes, you need to curb them, because only hurt people, and violence is no good. That's for the kids out there. But
how did he just ever let his bodyguards beat people up, though?
Yo, because he want to let y'all know he about that life, man. But
I'm about that with
another thing is this, though. Shout out to him for standing up for his son, because some of y'all dudes like left to go to the store and never came back and don't even know your son. So shout out to him for standing up for his son, man. So
looking at you, Tim Hardaway.
Story. And then a conspiracy theorist to me thinks this whole thing was set up because Diddy finds a way to keep his name relevant, even when he's not making movies, music, or peddling liquor to young African American kids.
Yeah, that liquor competition is getting a little stiff. So Diddy had to do something.
Yeah.
All right, but look, man. His son is a red shirt junior. Yo, how bad did you have to get? I didn't know they red shirted juniors, bro.
I didn't red shirt junior.
I didn't know they red shirted juniors, and he has 4 career tackles, and so yeah, he rich though. He rich.
Oh, I mean, when I was in college, you with some chicks that was juniors. I used to put them on the red shirt, like stay here till I'm never mind. But but in terms of playing football though, like I mean, you can red shirt juniors yam farming, but football, like I've never heard of that, man. Yeah. College football is crazy. Some of the rules they got, and speaking of college football, even though he's no longer a college coach, he still always will be remembered as a college coach for some reason. Chip Kelly was hit with a $99K tab in a penthouse rent dispute. Chip Kelly, pay your rent, B. What do you guys think about Chip Kelly hitting you with a $99,000 tab?
Yo, the story was because he got the money, so of course he paid his rent. But what he tried to do was he just tried to roll out without notice. And apparently at this place you needed a 90-day notice. That's what the lease said. And Chip Kelly claims that the 90-day notice required did not match the verbal promises made. But yo, Chip, you're a grown man. Verbal promises mean nothing. If it's written on paper and you put your signature to it, that's what they're going to stick by. So this dude had an $11,000 a month penthouse, and he tried to just roll out when he felt like it, when he felt like moving out, and thought that, they weren't going to hit him with any fees. So that's where Chip got caught up in the game.
Yo, man, first off, man, Chip Kelly, man, pay your rent, yo. And I want to send a shout out to all my tenants who maybe listen to the show, man. I appreciate you guys paying on time. But Chip is out of control, man. He knows what the truth is. He was just trying to be slick. Like, it's all about what's in writing, man. You know what I mean? Yo, come on, Chip. You're out of control, man. I'm not going to get into some of the things that LaShawn said about you, but with this situation, you're wrong. Also, just to let you know, Casey Mack did come back. He says Anthony Peeler, Kareem, and Brandon Rush are also from KC.
Oh, yeah, Kareem Rush quit, didn't he? He wanted to be a singer or something.
I'm just saying, yo, my man took the Brian McKnight route.
Yo,
the crazy part
shout out to the ballers from Kansas City, man. Shout out to them. I like Anthony Peeler. Yeah.
Lefty, yeah, I remember Anthony Peeler played for the Lakers. Well, he also was in Minnesota too, but
Brandon Rush irked me because he wouldn't cut that little mini afro off his head, and Kareem Rush just quit to be Brian McKnight. So they got a few half ballers.
One will make the dream come true. Anyway, man, let's move on to the next story that happened while you were on the grind because Chip Kelly didn't pay his tab. So anyway, back to that one. Yo, the B. Austin, you say something about Chip Kelly?
Nah, he stepped away from
Okay,
that.
all right, cool. Forget that. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about B. Austin's favorite homie, and that's Money May. Money May is out of control this week. First of all, Money May is trying to sell his, I believe it's a Ferrari for $3.8 million, and there were no bites at selling his Ferrari. So he comes out and says, "I'll take a picture with whoever buys it," as if that was going to make people jump to buy his Ferrari.
If I got $3.8 million,
exactly.
I'm not starstruck. Fuck you and your
picture. He actually put that out there. Outside of that nonsense, he's been allegedly terrorizing Andre Berto over the phone, having people calling him and just like hitting him with the notorious B.I.G. skips breathing. Hitting him with the life after death phone calls. And everybody knows what this is. It's privately over a chick. It's allegedly over that same chick, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson must have that work because she be having dudes going crazy.
The noodle.
But you know what this also is though? But y'all know what this could be though? Because supposedly the Amir Khan thing might not work out, and Andre Berto is one of the names being considered for his next fight. So these two dudes could be selling a fight. They could be selling.
That could be it.
That's a good point.
That could be it. I mean, and I think that may be part of it, but I also think that Floyd be butthurt when he see these dudes. See, here's the thing. Nobody is really making as much money as Floyd in sports and entertainment right now. And a lot of times when you're the alpha dog in terms of earnings, you feel some type way when you you feel some type way when dudes that have like less than half of what you do still pulling your birds. So I think that's what. But these dudes don't understand, man. Like, these chicks don't care about that bread. They want attention. So and they don't want to be hit.
Remember the car that Andre Berto was in when he was making the video didn't even have leathers. So Floyd really felt hurt. Yo, go back and look at that video. That shit even had leathers.
He got leathers. Man. Listen, now how many times? Listen, forget how many times. Yo, I'm pretty sure some of you gentlemen in your younger days used to smash. Chicks that had dudes. But it don't matter. That doesn't matter. the dudes be really hurt. Like, and especially when they feel like they have more.
Of course.
Because people think money controls everybody.
It doesn't. Yo, some of these chicks just want attention, man. Yo, y'all seen Casino? My man was giving the chick everything she wanted, and she was taking that money and buying somebody else something.
A broke dude.
Exactly. It be like that though. It be like that.
Based on this statement, Jimmy, I've been in the NBA and in the NFL.
Exactly. So you understand where I'm coming from, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And when these dudes find out, they be so hurt because they like, yo, why you doing that? He ain't got nothing. They start hating on you.
You're a bum.
But I'm gonna leave that alone. He a bum. That's dogging the chick. Let me shut up. Anyway, listen.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself.
That's for Floyd and Chip.
That was for Floyd. That was for
Floyd. Yo, Floyd is an amazing boxer. The rest of his life is terrible. Let's move on though. Let's talk about Lamar Odom, man. Yo, Lamar Odom lost a best friend, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, in the drug overdose. And now last week, I'm sorry. So then the very next week, he just lost another friend to a drug overdose.
The second best friend.
I don't know where they're copping their stuff from. That's like B. Austin having an OD, and then we come on and say RIP to B. Austin, but the next week, Dev have an OD. Like, what's the odds of that? What's the odds of that? Like, where are they copping their work from?
Yo, hey Jimmy, it sounds crazy, but the odds are very high if all these dudes with all they did was party together. Like,
that's true.
They are the same crew, birds of a feather flock together. So if you get in that much,
where are they copping from? Like, yo, I don't know who you're buying from, but you gotta chill. Like, he must got that.
Yo. I go by the name of Pharrell from the Neptunes, and I just want to let y'all know.
Yo, at least if y'all gonna have parties, man. If they gonna party, man, they can at least have somebody cook it up, man. They off the raw sort of raw. They
straight to the nose.
Yeah,
they be awesome, man. You just played that clip speed. They ain't been played in a while, man. I mean, Marvin Gaye about to sue Pharrell again.
Yeah, every time somebody else plays something. But it's crazy, man. Khloe Kardashian, she says she's calling Lamar like every hour now because the fact that his two best friends died a week apart, from drug overdoses, she's terrified of, what he could be doing right now or what he could be going through as a result. I think it's more so what he could be doing because, like I said, birds of a feather. If these dudes in less than a week had so much stuff that they both passed away, like the party not over yet. So, and dude might have died off a pity party for his homie dying. So where does that leave Lamar
right now? Lamar right now is on that Scott Storch. So
I was getting ready to say that, but I was going to say either they're copping pure or they're using Scott Storch amounts of product because
Scott Storch credit line.
I mean, that's crazy because I don't even know if they had enough time to bury the first one before there was another one. Like, that's crazy. Like, Odom, you got to chill. Like, he was an amazing basketball player. And, I guess the gist of the gist of that is no matter how much money you got and what talent you got, you still got problems, B. Shout out to Floyd and Odom.
Alone. All right. That's sad, man. That's sad.
Yeah, man. But anyway, man, it's time to get some birthday shout-outs before we, jump deep into the show. So,
no doubt.
Who's having a birthday?
The birthdays are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. Financing options are available. So visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them War Room Sports sent you.
My birthday, yay!
All right, we got 3 birthday shout-outs today, but I'm sure Casey Mack is either listening on Twitter or in the chat room, so he probably got like 16 more. But birthday shout-out to Dikembe Mutombo. He turns 49 today. Shout out to him. Shout out to his jaw for being able. Yeah, shout out to his jaw for being able to take those Shaq elbows in the 2001 NBA Finals. He got a mouth of steel. Pause that. But shout out to Del Curry. He's been in the news a lot lately. Well, he's been getting mentions on our show a lot lately, mainly because he's a great father. So shout out to Del Curry, father of the year, father of the century. He turns 51. And shout out to Willis Reed, man, former New York Knicks legend. In my opinion, he is the architect of the most overrated moment in NBA history. But shout out to Willis Reed anyway. I mean, he limped out the tunnel to face Wilt and the Lakers, and the Knicks won the championship, even though Willis Reed, after limping out, scored 2 points. But shout out to him anyway. And shout out to Walt Clyde Frazier for scoring like 37 in that game and carrying the Knicks to the championship. All right, so we'd like to give these the homies a nice big War Room salute on their birthday. Salute!
My birthday!
Dev, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether one of y'all mentioned this, but I was just sitting here and I'm got a thing come across my timeline that UCLA officially kicked Justin Combs off the team.
Damn.
Wow.
They was like, we ain't need him. like we don't have to take this. We don't need him. All right, so Jimmy just breaking news. Justin Combs, son of Sean Puffy Combs, has been kicked off the UCLA football team. The redshirt junior, who has 4 career tackles, is no longer a Bruin. So do y'all think there's any chance that he'll stay in school, or at least stay at UCLA? Or he's just going to take his riches and go?
That's the first thing I thought. I hope he finishes, because if you're a junior, you don't have to put so much left. You might as well just finish that out. And you got to pay out of your pocket anyway. I mean, go play at another. You can probably go play at another school at this point. Nothing on the level of a UCLA, but I mean, how about going and go play for Howard or something? HBCU. I
mean, but if Puff love Howard all that much, he probably wouldn't get no burn there either. But I mean, he's a trust fund kid. His trust fund is something serious. I think he's Puff's first biological born, so he's straight. I mean, he had a restaurant named after him when he was like 6 months old. So he's good. He's good. All right. So those were your birthdays. And real quick, before we get into some hot topics, make sure you guys check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for the War Report. That's our company newsletter. Click on the Contact Us tab to send us a message about our company, our show, to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, or if you're a radio host or an aspiring radio host and you want to join the network. While you're browsing the site, make sure you click on that memorabilia tab to buy War Room Sports merchandise. Click the blog tab to read our latest articles in the All's Fair in Sports and More blog. Then you can click the respective icons and tabs to like our Facebook page, to follow us on Twitter, to subscribe to our iTunes podcast, to watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, to listen to the WRS Podcast Network, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app on Android and iOS to get everything I just mentioned right there on the go. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you don't really have to. You can sign in through your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But while you're there, make sure you click follow so you can get updates and reminders about the show every week. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline is now open. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. So let's get in some hot topics. Jimmy, let everybody know who the hot topic segment is brought to them by.
Absolutely. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks and kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. All you have to do is visit Audible. That's at audibletrial.com/warroomsports, and you can get you a free audiobook. Salute to those people who've already signed up because, Audible did let us know that some people have taken us up on our offer. And those people actually got a free audiobook. There's tons of audiobooks out there. There's a new Michael Jordan biography. And I'm thinking about getting that soon because it's one of those things that Jordan didn't sign off on, which means it'll probably have all the dirty truths in there. There's all kinds of great books. The newest one I just got was a book by I hate saying this guy's name, Aziz Ansari, the comedian.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that's literally one of my favorite comedians. That's one of my favorite comedians. Like his stand-ups on Netflix are amazing, but he just dropped a new audio book, which is.
I was just about to say that, Jim. I was like, I watched one of his stand-ups on Netflix, and that joint was hilarious.
Yo, the John where he was like jizz everywhere. Yo, when he was talking about the people that use silent. Anyway, those that watch stand-up know what I'm talking about. He's a hilarious guy, but he has a new book just came out. It's on Audible. You can go get that for free. audibletrial.com/warroomsports. We want to thank Audible for their support of the War Room.
No doubt. All right, so hot topics. Of course, we just want to give a shout out to Jordan Spieth, who wins the U.S. Open. This is his second major championship win in a row. The 21-year-old is making a name for himself in golf. Remember, Rory McIlroy was supposed to be that next dude. And I do think, going into the future, it's going to be like Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy as those guys to beat. But Dustin Johnson kind of blew this one. What about
Ty?
Who? Dustin Johnson kind of blew this one, but Spieth was fortunate to pull it out. That's 2 majors in a row. Speaking of Tiger B. Austin, come on, man. Did you see the lowlights of his? He didn't even make the cut. And it wasn't just not playing well. Like Tiger's highlights or lowlights, if you will, actually looked like a blooper reel. Like it was. I'm starting to feel sorry for Tiger, but you can't feel sorry for Tiger because, even though a lot of people judge it strictly on the amount of major wins, Tiger Woods still arguably, even though he's second in that category, he's still arguably the greatest golfer who's ever lived. So it's a little difficult to feel sorry for him. But when they put together a highlight package, that's in essence a low light package of the man who is arguably the greatest of all time, you start to feel a little bit sorry for him. But shout out to Jordan Spieth.
It's funny because we joked about Tiger Woods back when everything was going down, and I had no idea it would be this bad. Like, I figured he would fall off. He wouldn't be the same dominant Tiger Woods because basically his mojo got checked. Like, he was literally out there living a life of an alpha male, and he got neutered in front of the public. But I thought that he was still win a major here and there. Like, he looked like me out there. He looked like Charles Barkley out there. Like, it's like, Dev said the text and was like, look at Tiger. And I looked at him like, like, that's not Tiger. That's somebody else. Like, that's his State Farm twin or something. Like, that's not Tiger.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy.
It was Sliger Woods.
And again, the theme of the show tonight is no matter how much athletic talent or money you got, you still can have problems that can affect you. Like, so shout out to Floyd, Odom, Tiger. Cat still got real problems, man. Tiger, get your yam farm back up so you can compete.
Yeah. All right, well, also we want to give a rest in peace shout out, man. A lot of people outside Philadelphia really, don't really know who this guy is, but it's crazy. You've been doing something a long time when you're a statistician, but you're famous in the city where you do stats. So Harvey Pollack, longtime 76er statistician, dies at age 93. So rest in peace. Shout out to Harvey Pollack.
The one thing about him, Dev,
like he's known like he's a PA announcer or something, but he's a statistician.
Yeah, he's definitely the most well-known statistician, probably up until Tony Reali. But he literally was there for Wilt's 100-point game, and that's probably what he's most known for because he created the actual 100-point sign that's in that legendary picture. He's the one that wrote it and gave it to Wilt. But what amazed me in looking through his legacy is he was there at the very first game the NBA ever had. When they decided to make basketball a professional sport and have a game, he was there.
Whew.
My man went through
I'm sitting here like, game. He was there for Wilt's 100-point. He was there for Wilt's 100-point game. He was there for Wilt's 100-point game, and he was there when Allen Iverson stepped over to Ron Lue Boulevard. That's crazy.
Yeah, I see the team Ron Lue. But that's amazing, man. I guess he probably saw the Cavs losing and was like, I ain't going through this no more, man. It's just like, well, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, rest in peace to him. His legacy is amazing, and basketball definitely lost a legend.
All right. I got a question for you guys, man. Big story came down early in the week. Pete Rose, who by all accounts with the new commissioner looked like he was on his way to getting that ban lifted. I truly believe that. You know, they were saying all the right things, and it looked like it was finally about to happen. Somebody doesn't want that to happen because a book, like a notebook, a ledger that's been under wraps, like I think it was like under federal, wraps for since 1989 when he was first banned, came out outside the lines from ESPN, got a hold of it recently. And this ledger had actual, accounts of Pete Rose making bets while still, a Major League Baseball player. Now, a lot of people, when we reported this story the other day, they were like, well, he already admitted to that. What's the big deal? No, in 26 years, Pete Rose has never, ever, ever, ever admitted to betting as a player. He admitted to betting on baseball while he was a manager with the Cincinnati Reds. So this is something, that came out that's kind of throwing a wrench in Pete Rose's whole story, counting his admission. So fellas, what do you think? Like I said, because it seems like he was on the brink of getting the ban lifted. Is Pete Rose ever going to get in the Hall of Fame, or did he just nail up his own coffin? Well, or did Outside the Lines nail up his own coffin?
Outside the Lines nailed his coffin. And the funny thing is, I hate to do this to him, but the only thing I could think of was that insurance company's commercial, and we can't name them because they haven't cut the check, but that insurance company with the old man and the dollar saying, "Ooh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that. You gotta be quicker than that." Yeah. Because what this does is he was on perpetual thin ice in terms of character and morality and the perception and lying. So now if he's maintained through the last 20 some odd years that I did not bet while I was a player, and for this to come out, he's done. He's done.
Yeah, I mean,
this was that thing.
It wasn't just 26 years of denial either, B. Austin. He was on a radio show like a month or two ago saying, no, I never bet as a player, and that's a fact. And, this is with an upcoming meeting. Yeah, he has an upcoming meeting with the commissioner that the commissioner still plans to honor. But it's like, how do you explain that now? Like, you were just on the radio adamantly saying, I never bet as a player. And like I said, somebody must have had an axe to grind. Somebody doesn't want this man in the Hall of Fame because this thing conveniently comes from under wraps, right when it looks like Pete Rose might get into the Hall of Fame. Now, in my opinion, I mean, Pete Rose is the greatest hitter who ever lived. You know what I'm saying? At least in the MLB. But I think you can go into the Hall of Fame and they still like crap on your name. You can still be banned from baseball. But what he did on the baseball field what he did on the diamond is just undeniable. And I'm not that, I'm not defending the dude or anything because, he was an idiot for doing what he did, because baseball has all of these quote unquote unwritten rules that you're not supposed to, break. And that's one of the cardinal sins, betting on baseball, betting on or against your team. You just can't do it. But at the same time, what he did on the field, you can't just erase this man's legacy. And being one of the greatest who's ever done it, I put him in the hall, but slander him while you're doing it. I don't know. Do something with it.
At this point, it's just being punitive, because I don't know what would happen. Like, who would be upset if they did put him in the hall? But I think there's other information.
Whoever leaked this book.
So it's like as soon as he gets close, something else comes up, and that's going to continue to happen. My man Pete Rose will be dead and gone before he gets in, if he ever does get in. But again, how much stock do you put in it? At this point, it's Pete Rose. Like, are you going to accept the Hall the same way you would have 26 years ago? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, nothing can take away from what you did on the diamond. Like, it just can't. You were literally one of the best players ever, and everyone knows that. So I guess you don't need the Hall to, kind of give us that. You know what I mean? Like, I read one time that the Hall of Fame is pretty much for players who can't win championships as a way to make them feel good. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Pete Rose, because Pete Rose was on the championship team, so you don't need the Hall, man. FOH. But this story, in terms of how it came out, is kind of crazy, because like you said, there's somebody out there, for whatever reason, that does not want him to enjoy that.
Yeah, you know how Major League Baseball is, man. They're unwritten rules. Like I said, this is the cardinal sin. Speaking of unwritten rules, though, fellas, there was a bid earlier in the week by Nationals ace Max Scherzer for a perfect game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had 2 outs in the 9th inning. Actually, he was down to the last strike because Jose Tabata was he had to count at 2-2. It was a little battle going on. It was 2-2, and then he fouled off 3 more pitches. And then on the last pitch of his at bat, he was hit in the elbow with a pitch. So of course, he got the hit by pitch. He walked to first base, and the bid for a perfect game was over. Now Scherzer still got the no-hitter, but he didn't get the perfect game. Now, a lot of people were coming down on Jose Tabata because they think he leaned into the pitch. And another one of those unwritten rules of baseball, if a guy is that close to a perfect game, then you don't do anything to bust that up. Do you guys believe in that? Because I know Jimmy wrote an article a long time ago about the unwritten rules of baseball and how foobar they are.
I definitely wrote an article on that, and for those who don't know, I'm actually in the process of finishing up this book I wrote, and I expounded on my article about the whole concept of unwritten rules. Like, baseball players, y'all are out of control with these unwritten rules. Like, it's utterly ridiculous. It is what it is, but they gotta stop. But the thing about baseball is it's always stuck on history. Historically, they shouldn't have done it. Like, FOH, man. I'll be off. I know you want to say something, but I want to bring up something that Leroy said in our chat room, because it's a great point that I've never thought about before. He said Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens, and soon to be A-Rod, actually wouldn't benefit from going into the Hall, because the longer they're out the Hall, they get talked about more than players who are in the Hall. What do you guys think about that?
Well, if they thrive off attention, then that's a point. But
I think that Pete Rose is the exception to a rule that Casey Mack may be. I'm not going to call Casey the originator, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you may touch on something that will one day become a rule of thumb. And here's what that is. The controversy around performance enhancing substances is going to keep certain guys in the news for a long time. And as history moves away and these polarizing figures are left basically with numbers, because we know baseball is a super numbers game, I think PEDs are going to be less of an issue. And I think you will see Barry Bonds get in. I think you will see Manny get in. I think you will see Roger Clemens get in. The guy who you will not see get in is Pete Rose, because I don't think the perception of betting will ever change. I don't think betting on the game will ever change, but the perception of PEDs may. That's a great point. Change.
Great point. That's a great point. And shout out to everybody who's actually participating with us during the show, because so everybody know I see you with the calls and on Twitter. At Johnny51 made a comment about our Lamar Odom talk. He said Odom was good, but he doesn't know about amazing. But yeah, it's about his life choices, and that's to me basically, because I did say he was an amazing player. When I said that, though, Johnny, I didn't mean necessarily in the NBA, although he did have flashes of being amazing in the NBA. But I remember Lamar Odom when he played for Rhode Island, and it was something to see someone of that size and that able to do what he did, Paul.
That was just Jimmy's hyperbole. Don't take that literally, Johnny.
Yeah, it wasn't literally. But although in the league, though, he did show flashes, though. When the Lakers won that championship, they would not have won without Odom doing what he did. He stepped up big time and was able to play multiple positions. So he still could be in the league if not for the cocaine. But shout out to everybody who's contributing during the show. Leroy, that's a great point, and B. Austin, great counterpoint.
No dizzy.
Thank you, my good brother.
All right, but back to the whole Scherzer thing. Because I've heard a lot of, especially being in the Washington area, I've listened to a lot of sports talk radio on it. I've heard a lot of different perspectives. I've heard a lot of biased perspectives, a lot of callers calling in because they're Nationals fans. The fact that the score was 6-0 was one big thing that people kept talking about. But, I heard some pushback even by some hosts here saying, bottom line, the dude, it didn't seem like anything blatant. One person said it looked like he really just squatted down rather than leaned in. So, I mean, do you not try to, if a pitcher's throwing you inside like that, are you going to go out of your way not to get hit by the pitch just because he's working on a perfect game, even though the score is 6-0? I mean, in baseball, things happen, man. And in the little, 5-6 year run that our Philadelphia Phillies had, man, I've seen some miraculous things happen with 2 outs left in the ninth, 2 outs in the ninth inning. So it's like, do you just give up and surrender to a guy just because he has the perfect game working? Like, some of these rules I don't understand. Like, I don't see what the huge deal is with Jose Tabata. A lot of people out there saying what he did was Bush League. I don't know. I don't know if I agree, man. I really don't. But hey.
I can't deal with these rules. I can't deal with the fans' perception, of what should or shouldn't be done based on these unwritten rules, because to me it seems like it's getting in the way of competition, and we're now trying to create an amazing moment. But the amazing moment, with all of these rules and the fans' perception of unwritten rule, it's like it's contrived. It's contrived. If he didn't get the perfect game, he didn't get the perfect game. I mean,
I think everything fans do these days are contrived. I mean, because I'm a traditional baseball guy, but it's a lot of things that go on during the course of a baseball game that I can't stand. Like, for instance, when the home team, when a guy is getting a lead off of first base and the pitcher at an away park turns to throw him back to the base, just to check, make sure everything is good, and the fans automatically start booing. But when their team does it, it's not an issue. So I don't understand that. Are they supposed to just let the dude get a 30-yard lead and do what he has to do? Like, it's weird, man. It's baseball.
Some things in baseball are just utterly ridiculous. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right, so that's that for the MLB. Tom Brady had his appeal hearing yesterday, and it lasted for 10 hours. What do you guys think is going to come of this? I know we talked about Deflategate ad nauseum when it was here. The commissioner said he's probably not even going to make a decision for another month. Like, what's all this for? Like, he's going to wait a month to tell us what?
Yo, I have no clue. I couldn't even make up anything that sounded funny, because I'm like, yo, Brady, what are you doing, D?
I mean, 10. What do you talk about for 10 hours? I mean, the case. If you read the report really doesn't. It doesn't have any concrete evidence that Tom Brady was involved. But for me, it's kind of like a common sense thing. And people act like you can't use common sense in the situation, when in fact you can, because this is not a proceeding in the U.S. court of law. And that's what people kind of get mixed up when they hear about, these proceedings in the NFL. They think everything has to stick to the letter of real law. And that's not the case. Common sense tells me you're not deflating the balls for anybody else but the quarterback. Who else cares? Who else cares? I mean, maybe the running backs, but they don't have any superstar running backs that you have to, bend to their whim. Like, I got to hold on to this ball. If Adrian Peterson, with his old fumbling problem, said, I need the ball deflated a little bit so I can hold on to it better. Okay, you do that. But the Patriots, who have a different starting running back every week of the season, you don't do anything like that for them. If you're doing this for Tom Brady to make throwing the ball in the conditions that they have at Gillette Stadium all the time a little bit easier. So, I mean, using common sense, of course he knew. Of course he had a hand in it. But the report really doesn't prove anything. So I'm pretty much thinking, if not the whole thing, he's probably not going to serve any more than 2 games. There's no way the golden boy Tom Brady is going to sit out for 4 games at the beginning of the season. And that's my thought. That's what I'm saying.
That's what they're discussing, Dev. The strategy, the 10-hour hearing, at least 4 of those hours are spent on how to break it to the public, so that they don't look like Robert Kraft is in Goodell's pockets or vice versa. Dude, the bottom line is, look, man, we're not going to let the golden boy serve 4 games.
Roy said it in our chat room. He will be playing on opening night. There's nothing in life. There's nothing in life, which including sports, yamage, or money, that I want to discuss for 10 hours. Like, it's just not. Like, what do I need 10 hours to discuss? Like, that's BS, yo. That was definitely what people often said it was strategy. Like, what's the most? If they had Olivia Pope in there and they was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't get that either. Like, that's big time. That's a big time conversation for any conversation to take that long. So what exactly could you be talking about for that long?
That's longer. I guarantee you that's probably longer than the amount of time he's going to spend on the field this entire season.
Possibly. That's a good point. 16 games, like real, like clock time. That's
exactly.
That's a good point.
He's not going to spend 10 hours on the field, but you spend 10 hours talking about what?
Like B. Austin said, how are we going to make this look good so all the other players who got popped on stuff that they probably shouldn't have, how are we going to justify it to them? So there's still that notion that, okay, they might give him something because the commissioner has to save face and not show favoritism to the golden boy. So I say 2 games. I'm not going to say he's not going to serve a suspension at all, but I'm also not going to say I would be surprised if that's the case. So I'm going to say 2 games. All right.
No doubt.
WNBA news. We don't usually talk WNBA news, but this is about Isaiah Thomas, man. Just a week or 2 ago, he was being celebrated because he was about to become part owner of the New York Liberty. Now, the WNBA has suspended the Liberty's consideration of Isaiah Thomas for ownership. Zeke can't catch a break, but in the same vein, Zeke has caught a lot of breaks because he doesn't earn a lot of the breaks that he gets outside of, his playing days in basketball. So what do you guys think about this story?
Man, listen, Isaiah Thomas must have that Mike Brown ability in terms of doing presentations and going on job interviews. I think those 2 guys could get together and go around and have a circuit teaching people how to apply for and get jobs. Because like you said, he's been afforded so many opportunities. I'm not saying that he continuously messes them up, because some of the opportunities he takes, it's going to be difficult for anyone to succeed. But even when you go back into the league and you look at his reputation in the league, it seems like Isaiah always gets screwed, but he never goes away. He's like a gremlin. He just won't go away. So shout out to Isaiah for his perseverance. They kept him off the dream team. They did everything to help him, but he found a way to get with a bunch of misfits and win championships. He's a terrible coach, terrible general manager, terrible everything. But guess what? Isaiah will not go away. Man, he's the face of perseverance, man.
There's my point, and I'm not even taking that on a positive and saying the word perseverance. I need Isaiah Thomas to go that away from basketball. I don't want to hear about Isaiah Thomas and basketball unless we're talking about the bad boy Pistons. I don't want to hear him coaching. I don't want to hear him managing. I don't want to hear him consulting. I don't want to hear him managing. I don't want to hear him owning. I don't want to hear him commentating. Go that away. Go that away.
I try to take a positive approach. We're saying the same thing, but I'm saying, look, the fact that he can keep popping up like this, that's perseverance, man.
No.
Because didn't he run the CBA into the ground? He owned the league.
He ran the whole league in the ground. Not a team, The league.
We're talking about the league.
Jimmy,
up with another six-figure job.
Stop defending this dude because he kissed Magic. Dude.
Yo, no. I'm not defending him, though. I'm not defending him, but I'm giving him.
He's one of the greatest guards. He's one of the greatest guards ever. We trash Mike Brown for less. Isaiah has destroyed lives with his inability to do anything right associated with basketball outside of dribble and shoot. Yo, he's destroyed lives. He gotta go, B.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but the fact that he's able to keep flipping six-figure jobs like that is an amazing feat.
Dev, I forgot about the CBA. Yo, he's ruined like 7 different organizations.
Yo, the Austin has no mercy for my man Zeke. No mercy for Zeke.
No, I think it's because I'm agreeing with you on that point, but you got to give him props for somehow finding a way to stay around. Like, Zeke stays employed, man. With the there's so many people that can't get a job. Zeke finds a way to get amazing jobs.
Listen, when he was in the Forum Club one night,
he got the black
James
book.
Dolan and the Dolan family was out there with Jerry Buss, and they was hanging out, with their wanging out, and Isaiah got pictures. That's all. He got pictures. He's able to leverage the fact that he saw something strange for a piece of change happening, and he's able to leverage that into all of these opportunities. That's what it is. It ain't talent, man.
Yo, you know what? Someone needs to do a 30 for 30 on Isaiah and how many like W-9s he's filled out over the last like 10 years.
All right, man. Y'all crazy. So let's do our stat of the week before we get to the phone lines. I think we got a call on the line. Somebody wanna check that out.
Let me check that.
Our stat of the week comes from it comes from the NBA. It's a NBA draft related stat because we are about to talk NBA draft in a few minutes. The draft will be live on ESPN at 7. I think most likely it'll officially start at about 7:30, but all the coverage starts at 7. The New York Knicks, one of the league's oldest franchises. The league office is in New York. Everything happens in NY, but the New York Knicks has had 23 first-round picks since drafting Mark Jackson back in 1987. Only one of those 23 players became NBA All-Stars.
Devin.
That's a hell of a stat.
The Knicks are back.
That's a hell of a stat.
Yo,
and Jimmy,
Dev,
I
like what you said though, real quick, Dev. You said one of the league's most. Then you went oldest franchises. Because
I was about to say something else, but you peeped that. Other people out there probably didn't peep that. They probably just thought I was stumbling over my words. I was definitely about to say, I was about to sound like a New Yorker, and then I realized like that's not true. That's what I'm about to say is not true.
The Knicks are overrated. Like it's unbelievable from a historical standpoint how they're overrated. That stat is amazing, and I did do the research. I found out it was David Lee is that only guy.
Wow.
And he only went 1 year, and that
he
was
only had one All-Star appearance, right?
Well, it made him unstoppable in NBA 2K, but he only had one All-Star appearance, and it's crazy when you look at that. And B. Austin, going back to the last topic, Isaiah was running them for several years, so a lot of those picks he made. Well, he made the Eddie Carey pick.
I know. I'm well aware.
But I'm just saying, like, that's amazing because, only certain teams can bring in free agents and just win that way. When you win through the draft. If you look at the Warriors who just won a championship, or you look at the Spurs who won before them, they built their teams through the draft. The Knicks can't even pick a first-round player right. So when we get to the second and third round, it's like, why even show up? You can't do the first round right.
This is my question, Jeff.
That's a great point. That's a real quick, Dad. That's a great point because you're supposed to use free agency to fill holes and fill out a roster when you're already on the way up because you built through the draft and you guys have, 80% of it done and you just need that other 10 or 20%. The Knicks never get it. Instead, they go and try and spend all the money in the world buying people.
What I want to know is, does this stat only apply to the players that they drafted while they were playing for the Knicks, or even the players that they draft and let walk, like they still don't become all-stars? Y'all see what I'm saying?
I would have to.
If that's the case, that's even a worse indictment on the Knicks.
But thinking about it, Dev, right? If that was the case, like the thing about it is, I can't answer it off the top of my head, right? But I would have to say that is the case because David Lee, the one guy that did make the All-Star team, right? He didn't make an All-Star anywhere else. Let me see. And I'm thinking about the guys they drafted. Like, I can't think of anybody who became an All-Star anywhere.
Right. Wow.
I can't think of anybody who became an All-Star anywhere. I mean,
that's
crazy.
Amazing.
When you think about it, like,
that's amazing.
Now Phil's in control. We'll see. But all right, here's one. Actually, no, they didn't have that pick. Rod Strickland, but nope.
No, because I was thinking Allen Houston, but Allen Houston was drafted by Detroit.
Dog,
so you know what? So they probably have to be counting that because they didn't, because Allen Houston, he was a Knick and an All-Star, but he didn't get drafted by the Knicks, so he's not a part of the stat. I'm assuming that that's the case. I think even if you were drafted by the Knicks, those 23 picks never became an All-Star, no matter who they were playing with.
Listen to the first round picks they had after
I got their picks.
Gerard Mustaf.
Here?
No, Ron Moore was a second round pick.
That's 1990. You got to go back further.
Ron Moore was a second round pick, though. He's a second round pick. It's his first round pick.
Oh, first round. All right. Rod Strickland is 88. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was saying Gerard Mustaf, Greg Anthony, Hubert Davis.
Wait, so Rod Strickland was a draft pick?
Yeah, Rod was a first round pick.
But Rod the guy never made the All-Star team?
But no,
Rod was never an All-Star.
Damn. He get a lot of respect for never having been an All-Star, though. He get a lot of respect for having not been an All-Star.
So hold on, let me see. He went to the All-Star game, like, cause I don't know, let me see.
Rod Strickland has never been an All-Star, and it's a travesty because he led the league in assists one year and still didn't make it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
They had it out for Rod because of the stuff he did off the court, probably.
Yeah, but anyway, but you look at some of these names, right? Like, you got Charlie Ward, John Wallace, Walter McCarty, Dante Jones, John Thomas, DeMarco Johnson. You got Frederick Weiss, Donnell Harvey, Nene, Michael Sweetney, Shannon Fry, David Lee, the one that did make it.
They blew it.
They drafted Nene. Did y'all know they drafted Nene?
I didn't remember that, but he never made it either. They
drafted him at number 7 overall. Marty Collins, Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Jordan Hill, Iman Shumpert, Tim Hardaway Jr. was the last first-round pick they had.
Yo, Jim, I'm listening to the list of the recent dudes. They still not going to have anybody. Like, that stat going to live. Now, I just saw a mock draft. I just saw a mock draft by Chad Ford that somehow had Jahlil Okafor slipping down to number 4 to the Knicks. Now, if that happens, I think they're going to have their first All-Star, in like 24 picks. But that's sad, man. That's really sad. But hey, let's get to these phone lines real quick because I want to talk a little bit about these top picks in the draft prior to, the commissioner coming out and actually making the first few picks. So let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got the homie Tobias, been holding for a while. Tobias, roll damn tide.
Roll damn Tide of having a better day than Warren Sapp. That's all I got to say.
Warren Sapp he's throwing it all away, man. He's throwing it all away.
First things first, if I get on the NBA draft. As an Alabama fan, you know we got to look for a new quarterback. Hate to say this, you got to start David Cornwell, the red shirt freshman. If the red shirt senior Coker couldn't beat out a guy who plays running back and couldn't even make the Arena Football League roster as a quarterback, you got to go another direction, that cuz. But anyway, now I'm a Bulls fan, so I'll probably sleep by the time our pick comes up or don't know who the hell the guy is. But the Lakers, I believe that they have to take D'Angelo Russell. These guys haven't been able to defend the guard position since when Derek Fisher was good. And because let's be honest here, there's been work ethic questions about Okafor. And to me, as a big man, if they question your work ethic, and the other thing is, how the heck are you 7 feet tall? You can't block shots, and especially in college where there ain't no bigs. And you got college teams running 6'7" centers. We see it all the time, and so that's my issue. He doesn't have the work ethic. He doesn't have. It's like the stuff coming out. He's not in the best shape, and plus you got Randall out there, and neither big can shoot past 10 feet, 5 or 6 feet. At least the Grizzlies had guys like Gasol could shoot a jumper, and Randolph could shoot a jumper. They're pretty much the same guy except for a couple of inches. Can't jump, can't defend, can't shoot past a couple of feet. Might as well go with the guard.
Yeah. I feel
I find the conversation around Emmanuel Mudiay and D'Angelo Russell fascinating because as I analyze both their games and I watch some film, Mudiay is definitely the better athlete. But I think people have this misconception that he's a freak. He's not like my man Westbrook. He's not Derrick Rose. He's definitely not Westbrook. He's going to be a quality guy. He's got to develop a jumper. The problem with Russell that I see, Russell is much less of an athlete than Mudiay. Like Russell can't really finish near the rim, so you're getting a shooter basically, and he's also a very good. He's also a very good passer, heck of a passer. He can't. I don't know that I would want to see him at number 4 go to the Knicks because they keep talking about this triangle, and we keep hearing about this triangle. That would be a waste of a talent if you've got a point guard who really can be a lead guard and pass the rock a little bit. The Lakers, for you guys, I would want to find shooters in free agency, and I would want to find a raw defender in Russell has more a more limited upside than Mudiay. So I would take Mudiay if I'm the Lakers because you hope you can develop him into a much better shooter. But right now, he's going to be able to defend quite well in the NBA, and he's going to be able to get to the cup. I don't think Russell gives you a super upside unless you've got tools and weapons already around him to allow him to facilitate and set the table. He is a good shooter, though.
Yeah, and the thing also is that let's bring up another issue. I'm tired of every year you get the nice, hot European guy, the hot prospect, and the only thing you've seen of him was a grainy footage of him throwing an inbound pass and taking a free throw in the layup line, and he's supposed to be great. Let's just keep it real. Like this guy, the crispest guy, the crispest addict guy, whatever his name is. He's up to 6'11", 210. How the hell are you 6'11", 210 and go top 4? Where did they do this at?
Now be fair. Your man Durant was like 6'9" and 170 pounds when he came in the league.
But we watched him play.
True.
And here's my opinion, right? I understand what you're saying about Okafor and Towns. I understand all that, but I'm not trying to overcomplicate things, right? And I think a lot of times in these drafts, these people I guess there's so much time in between when you get to where you're picking at in the draft. Your cats be just overthinking everything. I'm letting the first team pick who they're picking, and I'm taking the big that's left. It's just that simple. I'm not messing with any of the guys you named. I'm taking one of those bigs. And that's just what I would do at the number 2 pick. Now, we're hearing everything about the trade talks and all this other stuff, people trying to move up. We don't even know what's really true until it actually happens and starts. But that's the move I personally make.
Well, Jim, wait, hold up. Let's get in all that. And Jimmy just introduced the basketball segment. Tobias, man, thanks for your call. You know, we appreciate it, man. We love the support, man.
All right, take it easy, man. See y'all next week.
All right,
man.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, let's get into that because Jimmy, you're making a good point, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. All right, now, the NBA, of course, is brought to you by Fanatics. For the best in your favorite team's merchandise and apparel, shop Fanatics. That is definitely easy. Go to our website, warroomsports.com, and click on that Fanatics logo. It's one on our main page as well as our sponsors page. And also, during the course of the week, be on the lookout because we're always having Fanatics specials, championship teams, you know, new jerseys coming out. So we'll have specials during the course of the weekend. That's NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, NCAA gear, and more. We want to shout out Fanatics and thank them for their support of the War Room. Now it's time to talk basketball. Listen, man, we got a lot of trades that happen, but I'll finish my point like I was saying, Dev. I wouldn't overcomplicate things. Those two guys have been 1 and 2 this entire time, and we see this all the time in every league, not just the NBA, where there's so much time between the draft. You see cats jump up the board, and you're like, when did that happen? Number 2, to me, is the easy spot because the pressure's on number 1 to get the right guy. I mean, historically, right. You know that both of them probably won't be all-time players, or one of them probably be great, and the other one, you never know. But let them pick the one, and I'm taking the other one. I'm keeping it very simple.
Right. Now, that's a good point because what Tobias was saying, Kristaps Porzingis, the guy from Latvia, he's been flying up draft boards, and all of a sudden, you have people out there who's saying that he could, arguably could be the best player in this draft, or at least have the best potential, the biggest upside. You keep hearing Dirk Nowitzki's name mentioned when they talk about him. We all know that's a gamble, and some teams don't mind taking that gamble on the European player who's getting the most hype at the time. But, he could be Dirk or something near Dirk, or he could be what's my homie that went number 2 in the 2003 draft? He could be the kickboxing dude. So
Darko?
Darko Milicic.
Darko Milicic.
So it's he'd fall anywhere between there. So it's probably a great gamble. And like Jimmy said, I think people might be overcomplicating it a little bit because for the first time in a long time, you have 2 great college bigs right there on the board, for the taking. And if you blow this and they do become superstars and you had one of the top 2 picks and you ended up not getting one of them, then, that could be a problem for your organization down the line. But the only caveat in that is that the number 2 pick belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers, who is usually, they're historically one of the great teams in the NBA. Like seeing them in this position in the first place is something that we're not used to. And they're already talking about trading the second pick for DeMarcus Cousins. So what do you guys think about that? Like, let's say Towns is the first pick because by all accounts, reportedly Minnesota has already let him know that he's going to be the first pick. So Jimmy, as a Laker fan, I can ask you first. We all know what Boogie can do. We all know about Boogie's attitude at times and what his body language tells people. Would you pass on a talent that has as much upside as Jahlil Okafor for Boogie Cousins at this point?
That's a great thing, and I've been thinking about that all day. Like I'm really making a decision, but I have been thinking about that. A lot of times I take the bird in the hand approach, but I definitely feel like you can build through the draft. And we all know what Boogie's reputation is, and I think that the Lakers are at a point now where they need more. And also, how will Boogie mesh with Kobe? Kobe has 1 year left. Right. I would like to see someone with the upside. I would definitely wouldn't do the Boogie thing. And, I'm like 60-40 or maybe even closer to that 55-45 because Boogie, to me, has more talent than damn near any big man in the league. But we all know that doesn't mean anything. We all know that. And we also all know that Boogie hasn't given his maximum. The fact of the matter is that's why Sacramento wants to get rid of him. That's why Sacramento wants to get rid of him. So, right. But at the same time, I believe in building through the draft. I believe that, Kobe only has 1 year left, and we have to move forward. So maybe the 1 year with Kobe will help whoever we bring in. I don't know that Kobe can help Boogie. Boogie's too far gone. So I definitely would throw one together now.
Shout out to Towns. I watched some tape on him working out, and he's scary. Like, I almost resent the fact that he's that tall and that skilled. I kind of think he's going to end up falling into that whole move away from the basket and play at 15 feet and 18 feet, and then they're going to try and push him out to the three-point line because he got a nice little stroke and can shoot. Pause. To the Lakers, I think if you're going to try and really make a run at being competitive this year, you have to take Boogie. Boogie's the best center in the league, probably in the world right now.
You said this year?
Yeah, this upcoming season, if you want to try and be competitive because you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you're tired of hearing about the Clippers, you got to do it now. But if you're really looking long term,
you never know. The Lakers have failed recent years, but free agency has always been good to them. So B might have a point.
You guys are the second pick, right? You're the second pick, right?
Yeah, but we're so far away. Like, I don't see, even if we got Boogie, us competing. I just don't see it. Sacramento has Boogie and they can't compete. We don't know how Kobe's going to come back. Sacramento is asking for Randall, the number 2. They're asking for a lot, and they wanted another player as well. I forgot who it was. They want another player as well. Like, Sacramento is basically
they want to take anybody decent checked out.
Yeah, they're trying to stick the Lakers up. Is what it all boils down to. Like, I definitely wouldn't make that move. And the thing is, I don't think short of us, getting LeBron, we'll be competitive this year. Like, we're just not that good of a team. Team is terrible. And then, hold up, here's one point that hasn't been made. You want to put Boogie Cousins on the same team as your man? You know who I'm talking about, Swaggy P. You want to put them two together? That's only good for World Star.
I think there's a way that the Lakers, if they really realized that it was serious, I'm talking that it was really serious, they could send the clown to Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. They can jettison that. They can get rid of dude. Yeah, he's under contract.
I ain't gonna front. He's definitely a clown, but why would you want to get rid of Swaggy? I think Swaggy's a great player to come off the bench.
Culture. He is.
You can't talk culture if you're trying to trade your roster for Boogie Cousins, man. Like, culture is out of the window at this point. Like, seriously, culture is out of the window. Because the Lakers are one of those organizations. Like, look, we got 16 hanging up top, 16, however many they got hanging up top. They it don't matter what a dude does. Like, he gonna come here and fall in line because we got those things hanging up in the arena. So that's their attitude.
He might not though.
No, he definitely might not. I'm talking about the Lakers' perspective though. Some dudes might come in and be like, I don't care about that, and I'm going to be me regardless. But I'm talking about from the Lakers' perspective. Like, I don't think they're really thinking about culture because they think that, people will fall in line because of what we've done in the past and just be so in awe that you're playing for this organization. Yeah. But some people, you had a few people come in like the New England Patriots and didn't abide by the all factor of being able to play for the Patriots. So, and they had to get out of there. But that's just how these type of organizations think, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, man.
So who's better? If you were Minnesota, who would you take?
If I was Minnesota, I probably would take Towns. I probably would take Towns. If I'm Minnesota, but again, like I said, they're in the crazy predicament. Not the Lakers, they are, but I definitely probably would, like you also said, take Towns. It's just crazy, man. Like, because you make that one wrong move, like Dev just said, you can set the team back for years. And specifically, the number 2 guy that comes in and goes off. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kevin Durant.
Towns got that unibrow look to his game, man. Like there's nothing that he can't. When I look at his game, my fear is that he becomes too perimeter oriented because of the fact that he can shoot. He's got tremendous footwork. From what I saw, he's got a soft touch and he's got range. Man, he can do it all. I hope he don't come in the league and turn into Channing Frye.
But I've been on that Towns bandwagon ever since, the college season when everybody was screaming Okafor. I was screaming Towns. But upon further review, I still think Towns is the better player right now. But I look at it the other way. I think that Okafor's upside is a little bit scary. And you mentioned footwork. I don't think there's a big dude at least in the draft who has better footwork than Okafor. Where he needs to improve,
isn't on the low block. On the low
block.
Yeah,
you're right, on the low block. Yeah, because coming out a little to the perimeter, that might be a different story. But defensively, of course, he needs to improve. Where Karl-Anthony Towns is already doing his thing defensively, at least on the college level. Okafor needs to put a little more effort into that because we talk about it all the time. Defense, when you're that good of an athlete, when you're that big, that tall. Defense is a mindset. Like you play defense because you want to play defense because pride tells you I'm not going to let anybody bust my ass out here. So Jahlil Okafor just has to get that. Well, and I think he'll be okay. But yeah, Henry, I don't think you can miss with either one of these guys right now.
I get to Henry and Allegheny. I'm about to leave your house now.
I don't think you can miss with either one of these guys. So I don't know. It's like Towns.
I like Okafor, and I think that we collectively still kind of look at the game from a more traditional standpoint. At least I know I do. And I like Okafor, and I like what he does offensively. I think that's what you need. But the way the game is played today, Towns is one of them new. He's one of them new ninjas. Like he could get fooled. They could fool him in. Somebody talking in his ear, look, man, I know you 7 feet, but man, you could do what Kevin Durant does. And he's literally going back. He's dribbling behind his back twice and pulling up from like 20. I'm like, uh-oh. And it looks smooth. It's not manufactured, it's not hurt. That could be an upside or that could be a downside to the game. That's kind of scary. Okafor is going to the block, and he's giving you up fakes, pivots, over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder. He's killing you. But are you going to run into a team that's going to commit to that and throw it in and run the offense through him?
Okay. Well, listen. Like we said, like Jimmy said earlier, the team shouldn't overthink things. You got two bigs that could be pretty good in this league. I think if you're the first two teams, you take one. I mean, if you're the Lakers, because even if they make the trade for Boogie Cousins, they can't make it prior to making the pick. So really if they're going to make that trade, they're picking for Sacramento. So in essence, let's say if that's going down 100%, Sacramento, don't overthink it. Take one of the two bigs at the top of the draft and then let the chips fall where they may. I heard somebody else say that they think the draft should be, and I think this may have been Jay Billis earlier. He think it should be any order of Okafor, Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and then the draft starts at the 4th pick. B. Austin, being a 76ers fan, do you agree with Jay Billis? Do you think the 76ers should be 100% locked in on D'Angelo Russell? Or should they take a flyer on like a Moutier or a Porzingis? Because Porzingis has actually been, his name's been floated out there with Philly as well, especially since, he's overseas. It's a chance he might not come and play right away, and the Sixers are all about that right now.
I'm definitely looking at Moutier pretty heavily, but I would go with Moutier.
You go with Moutier. I think the safe pick in Philly would be D'Angelo Russell, simply because, of course, point guard is a need, and that's why Moutier now comes up as well.
He's more polished.
He's more polished, but at the same time, I don't think either one of these guys are just step into the league and dominate type point guards. But considering that the Sixers just traded their point guard, who was the rookie of the year. And a lot of the reason why they traded Michael Carter Williams is because his jump shot was a little bit suspect, especially from the 3-point line. And you know, we're living in the era of analytics when 3-point shooting is more important in teams than ever before. And his 3-point percentage wasn't good enough for what the team was looking for in a point guard, even though he did a lot of other things well and was the NBA Rookie of the Year. Now, if we're talking about shooting, like I've watched Mudiay and his workout, because I didn't see much of him since he played over in China. His J, I mean, the workout that I saw, I don't know if I would call it broke, just because, you know, the mechanics are there. So it's like, you know, you hoist up 1,000 of those a day, he can be a pretty good jump shooter. Some dudes don't make the jump shots, but you can look at their form and look at their mechanics and see exactly why they're not making jump shots. So I don't think he's gonna, you know, play out his career in the broke J category. But at the same time, it's obvious. It's not even opinion that Russell has a better jump shot at this moment. And if that is indeed why the Sixers gave up on Michael Carter Williams, and, you know, basically jettison off the Rookie of the Year, then you would think that they would be taking a real hard look at D'Angelo Russell if they're worrying about the shooting percentage of their point guard.
I'll give you this. Your logic would definitely make sense if the Sixers truly have committed to Tony Wroten. Because if they've committed to Tony Wroten, then they already have Mudiay. And they've got Mudiay with a
cheaper
little bit
Mudiay too, in the long run.
They've got cheaper Mudiay. They've got NBA experienced Mudiay. And you bring in Russell, and you've got interchangeable guards, guys that can play the 1 and the 2 pretty easily. I mean, at 6'5", and with his measurables, Russell can slide between either guard spot, and he can shoot. As you say, he can shoot. Shot 41% from 3, 45% from the field, and 76% from free throw. So Russell's got some improvement in his shooting, a little bit to do, but he's definitely more of a polished shooter. Mudiay, when I say broke, yeah, the form is there, but I still pay a lot of attention to your free throws. Yo, my man Mudiay shot 57% from the free throw line. I got a problem with that, especially if you're a lead guard and you got to get to the hole. Like, you can't be Rajon Rondo out there, man. You can't be the guy that they want to foul as the point guard to put on the line, because late in games, your point guard can't be a liability. Like, that just can't happen. So I can understand saying Russell. I just feel like Mudiay has so much upside athletically, even though he's not the Russell Westbrook athlete that people were trying to make him out to be, 6 months ago. He's still significantly more of an athlete than Russell. He's quicker, he's faster, and jumps way higher, and he commits to defense. I don't know how good Russell is defensively. I don't know. I know Mudiay is that's kind of one of his calling cards is his defense. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to take Russell right now. I think in the next 3 years, Russell will probably prove out to be the better choice in the immediate. But who knows with Mudiay? Who knows? I mean, upside is.
If we're talking number 3 and we're talking 76ers, then immediate is not really a necessity right now.
Right.
Immediate is not. Yeah, immediate is not exactly what nobody cares about that.
But as you said, if you do take Mudiay, and you end up somehow having Mudiay and Tony Wroten in the backcourt on the floor at the same time, that ain't good.
It's gonna be all right, let's go to the phone line real quick, man. We got Rob from out in Cali. Rob, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How y'all doing, man?
Pretty good. How you?
Blessed and highly favored.
What's your thoughts on this NBA draft? I know your Lakers got the number 2 pick, and they're talking about trading it. What do you want them to do?
I love how y'all brought some interesting points. A lot of people out here in California, particularly in LA, we love our like California dudes. They big on Russell, but to me, Russell is gonna be a bust. he's just a, what do you call it? A gunner. He's just an habitual shooter. He just shoots just to be shooting. He doesn't really take a shot.
41% though, homie.
I mean, I come on, man. I'm not big on a 3-ball, but anyways, I'm not big on the 3-ball. But like, I think people are tripping when they talk about Towns is better than Okafor. I mean, Towns is more athletic, no doubt. But but he hasn't developed his offensive game, and his athleticism didn't really help him when he was getting beat up by old boy from Wisconsin. You know, I mean, yes, Okafor is young, but Okafor is young and he's developed right now. Like,
I wouldn't say beat up though. He was in foul trouble in that game because when he came back in,
he was in foul trouble because dude was flopping, man. Come on now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You said he was beating him up. I don't think he was beating him up. Like you said, there was a lot of flopping going on. But so you would take. I mean, so basically, you think Okafor is the better of the two big men. So assuming the two big men go 1 and 2 like they should, if people don't overanalyze this thing, you would be happy if the Timberwolves took Towns, because then the Lakers would get Okafor if they planned on keeping him. So you think he's the better of the two big men. What's your thoughts on if the Lakers did end up getting Okafor, but they traded him for Cousins? Would you be down with that as a Laker fan?
I mean, I knew Cousins was going to be the most dominant center in the league just a couple years ago, but the thing is, just seeing the way he's developed, but the thing is, like, my man, your man got a bad attitude, and it's not going to work well with management. It's not going to work well with fans and Kobe. I heard like folks from Sacramento told me years ago, like, your Boogie is, bad. Like, Boogie's bad. Like he a bad dude. And I mean, for us Laker fans, as first of all, as a basketball community, it's either you superstar like Kobe, and you sit in Huntington Beach and you don't bother anybody, or you like Shaquille O'Neal and like you just kicking it with fans like Magic Johnson. Even before he became super rich, he was teaching dudes that play basketball at Venice Beach. So for me, I would rather have Okafor, and also, he's a Duke, he's a good boy. So, I like, let's bring up some good boys.
That's a good point.
But you know what? I like what B. Austin said about the African dude. I want
Emmanuel Bouye.
Emmanuel Bouye. I like him. I think he'll be he'll be I should say a super great point guard, just a good point guard in this league. He'll be sort of like D. Will before D. Will lost his steam and didn't care, started wanting to pick up checks. Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard because it's because I want to ask Jimmy something, Jimmy. Because Jimmy had the bounce, so he's not even here no more.
Dang. Just hit him on Facebook or Twitter or something, and you can get the question answered. But look, the draft is about to start, so we're gonna do some live analysis of the draft. So thanks for your call, Rod, man. We appreciate it. You know that.
Always, Rob. Yo, I think people when they look at Towns, they're getting caught up in what they see. Well, it's not their fault. They're looking at what they see within the limitations and connotations of the offense that they run in. I saw that dude work out, and I was, yo.
Yeah, I mean,
7-foot people shouldn't even be doing that. That was stupid.
Yeah, because with Towns, to me, there was so much talent on that Kentucky team that they didn't run like a concentrated offense through him, even though I think everybody pretty much realized he was their best player. But when games got tight, and a few of their games got tight this season, you notice like they started to go down low to their big man and let him work out. And that's when, you know, he kind of showed you that he could put a team on his back. But there was so much talent on that team. You know, it's hard to stand out completely. It's hard to put your entire game on display when you're playing for a bomb squad like Kentucky. So
right. No, I totally agree. So you didn't get to see him dominate on a regular basis because they let them bum behind twins do what they wanted to do a lot of
time. You see, they still in school. Yeah. So we're waiting on the Minnesota Timberwolves pick now. Like I said, by all accounts, it probably is going to be Karl-Anthony Towns, which is crazy because from the minute Jahlil Okafor stepped onto the scene at Duke, it was pretty much understood that he was going to be the number one pick in the draft. So if he's not the number one pick in the draft, would you say, and I pretty much know the answer, but you know, we gotta sensationalize this. Would you say that he played his way out of the number one pick, or Karl-Anthony Towns somehow played his way into the number one pick?
Little bit of both, a little bit of both. But I'll say this: when you bring up the word sensational, I think that people put too much credence into that Wisconsin game and what Kaminsky did. And I may have, prisoner of the moment, even myself, I made comment on his defensive, intensity in that game, but it was one game. I kind of get the sense that if they played a 5-game series, Okafor would have lit Kaminsky up at some point and kind of shut a little bit of that down. So I think that people took a look at that one game, and when you're that highly touted, eventually it's almost scary because when you're that highly touted for that long, people are picking at you. So it's almost like they were waiting to find something to bring his star down. And then Towns, if Towns were in Okafor's position, which he easily could have been depending on the squad he was on, it would have been Towns going through the same thing. So I don't think it's really fair that he's dropped. And I think Towns, you in his position, you get to see all of the upside and not much of the downside. So it's only natural that they just kind of loft him up there. But I only think he played himself out of a few 100,000. Like I don't think he's going to slide further than 3. And I think Jahlil Okafor is still going to be a very, very, very good offensive player from the time he steps foot on the court. He steps foot on the court, he's automatically top 5 big men in footwork. Like
that pick is in. So we're about to find out now.
All right.
Karl-Anthony Towns it is, number 1 pick of the 2015 NBA draft. So the reports we heard weren't false. The big man from Kentucky is your number 1 pick in the NBA draft. It's basically who you said, B. Austin, who you thought should be the number 1 pick. Now, we've talked about him a little bit before, but you said watching his workouts, you saw a little bit more of what he could possibly develop into on the perimeter.
Yo, skill-wise, he reminds me of the unibrow. And the one thing that I respect about the unibrow is he has range, I believe, that he hasn't even really shown in the NBA. And that's a good thing because I think that, because of the time that we live in, people overvalue that 3-point line. He could easily lobby coaches to say, hey, let me launch a couple from where Kevin Love launches and I'll be good. And he has the skill and shot ability to do that, but he still keeps it more LaMarcus Aldridge. So his shots come from inside the arc and he drives to the basket a lot. I'm hoping that's what I see from Towns because ability, shooting ability, I saw him come from half court down the right side of the floor, make a move into his left hand, spin back inside the 3-point line and take a huge step back and nail a 3 from the wing. Why do you do that at 7 foot and why can you do it? Why are you able to do that? That's stupid. Like if that's really a consistent part of his game, that's going to be nuts on an individual level, but offensively for the entire team, it takes a 7-footer away from the opportunity to grab rebounds, the opportunity to put pressure on defenses. So I'm hoping we get a good mix. I don't mind some of that three-point shooting if he has the ability to do it, but I'm also hoping he develops his back-to-the-basket game and gets on the block as well.
So what do you think about his about the addition to this young Minnesota Timberwolves team? I mean, you got Rubio, you got Wiggins, you got the dunk champion over there, you got Bennett. Yo, they have the last 3 #1 picks in the NBA draft on their roster.
They are
loaded with young talent.
They are scary. Rubio, hopefully is somewhere working on his broken ass jump shot to get it together. But he's got a ton of people to pass to. And the one thing we've learned about Rubio is when you give him people to serve dinner to, he can serve it up hot and fresh. I mean, he can definitely dish the rock. They've even given Levine minutes at the 1 to try and develop him. Now, handle-wise, he definitely needs work. He does not have a point guard's handle, but that's going to be scary if he's able to develop, really be able to start and give them quality game from the 2. And then they've got the guy Shabazz Muhammad playing at 3 or coming off the bench. I believe they are loaded with young talent. They're loaded. So they're scary. Now, do they turn into, the Clippers with Darius Miles and then from 2002, 2001, or are they really, really going to make serious noise and win games? I don't know, but they're scary talent-wise.
That's the hard part of having all of those young guys around the same age, because let's say by some miracle they all do become great players. You can't pay everybody. So you got to, pick and choose which one is the stars you want to build your thing behind and, build around that. You're not going to be able to keep everybody in 4 years if everybody's tough. Oh, yeah. Wiggins. Wiggins has the most upside, so far. So if Karl-Anthony Towns and Wiggins can become what they're supposed to become, that's a nice 1-2 punch. That's a nice 1-2 punch going forward. Yeah.
I didn't think Wiggins was going to develop. It's the athleticism has always been there. I was concerned about the attitude, the aggressiveness, and the skill, developing the skill level. And as we've been chronicled saying all through last season, my man Wiggins gets better. It only takes him 20 minutes in an NBA game to get better. And Lord knows what he's doing in practice. Like his skill level, he has a hunger. He's not an angry guy. He's not one of those fierce competitors. He doesn't talk a lot but he does have a competitive edge because I think he's heard the criticisms and he stepped up.
It's funny that you said that though, because that was actually what I was thinking. Like I knew that the talent and the athleticism was there. I just didn't know if he had a mean enough streak in him to do what he has to do to ascend to levels where that his talent could actually take him to. So and it doesn't seem like he doesn't play angry, but I've seen him go up there and bang on a couple of dudes, so it's in him. And he had a couple of I don't care type plays during the season. If he makes those into the norm and he just plays with not a reckless abandon as in like he's out of control, but I'm talking about a reckless abandon, like I'm going to get better and there's nobody out here that's going to do anything about it type abandon, then it could get scary because the dude has all the talent in the world.
Yeah, I like him. I like him. And Towns is a great addition to that.
Yeah, he's a couple cheap.
He good. Get some protein in his life. But Towns and Wiggins as a 1-2 punch would almost make some of that other talent that's out there expendable. Like, if you guys want to get paid and go elsewhere, cool. As long as we hold on to Wiggins and Towns, we can fill in with shooters and we can get another PG. But I don't even think Rubio is necessarily leaving. But if that's really your 3, Zach LaVine is good.
Yeah.
He's got
Rubio's your table setter, especially with all this talent around him. He's your table setter.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Like he'll be able to live. He'll be able to live without a great jump shot.
Right.
And the Lakers are on the clock. The pick is in. They picked D'Angelo Russell, point guard, Ohio State. Oh, so is that the Lakers pick or is that Sacramento's pick? Who did that?
That could be the trade. That could be the trade happening because they wanted Clarkson. Oh, they wanted Clarkson in the pick.
Woo! Surprise, surprise.
Russell went 2.
Surprise, surprise. All right, so this leaves a situation for the Philadelphia 76ers. You have Noel, you have Embiid, who's still having problems with his foot, but you have to take Jahlil Okafor, right? You have to. Yes. You have to. Yes. You let those bigs fall where they may.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, Dev. Because to be quite honest, no knock, no disrespect to Nerlens. I see you, big homie. You working on your game, but he's expendable. And Jahlil Okafor comes in. If you can have Okafor and Embiid, you bombing. If Embiid, foot is a problem and you got to ship him out, you still have Okafor to build around. So either way, that's a win. I think they gotta take Okafor.
Remember, Chad's Ford last draft board had them still taking Moutier, and because this is how Chad Ford had it. He had D'Angelo Russell going to the Lakers, and the Sixers taking Moutier, and Okafor falling 4 to the New York Knicks.
I like Moutier, and I'm a supporter of the African athlete in the NBA, but they'd be silly to take him above Okafor. They'd be silly to take him. They got to take Okafor, man. They got to.
Wow. Like I said, I saw draft pundits say it. I saw some mock drafts change, but I wasn't really going to believe it until I saw it.
Here's the thing. He's good. Russell is good. He's not number 2 pick good. He's not number 2 pick good, man.
Especially, because you can say that, and some drafts have been weak where a lot of people could be numbered. This is a pretty deep NBA draft, so this is really surprising to me. 6'5", 190.
In this draft, he's not number 2 pick good. No way.
The Sixers have a conundrum here because we don't know what's up with Embiid unless they're just throwing those, reports out there just to scare people. I don't know what that's about.
I don't care if I'm the Sixers.
You let it pan out. Because somebody can be trade bait at some point. Whoever's the third best can be trade bait at some point.
And that means Nerlens, bye. See you later.
You can because offensively, Nerlens is not what Okafor is. Defensively, Okafor's not in the same league as Nerlens. I don't know. This all hinges on the health of Embiid's foot, but I think you have to make the move. That's a good problem to have, right? Three of the best bigs to come out in the past 3 years.
Absolutely. Based on what we saw of Nerlens Noel, he's not what we are offensively. So that's why I'm kind of considering him expendable in that, because if you can get Embiid healthy, Embiid and Okafor is crazy. Embiid and Okafor and Nerlens is a problem because Nerlens can't play the 3 at all. So I would. If Embiid isn't healthy, you keep Nerlens, and it's Nerlens and Okafor. If Embiid is healthy, you ship Nerlens out. And
that has to be Sacramento's pick, because I don't see the Lakers passing up on a big, just because. Like, they have to be getting, for me, if you take D'Angelo Russell and you trade him for DeMarcus Cousins and whatever else that package is gonna have, I understand that a little better. Like, I wouldn't have to think about that. Like, the whole Okafor thing, I would have to think about it just because it's like, okay, this guy could, it's a big for a big. Boogie Cousins has his problems, as far as falling in line and things like that. So you would have to think about it. But in this case, I think it's a no-brainer. If that indeed was Sacramento's pick, I would have no problem, doing that.
Right.
But at the same time, who else are they giving Sacramento if this is the trade that's about to happen? I'm pretty sure Julius Randle has to be in there because they're not just going to give up the best big in the league for some unknown point guard. So they have to take like a young big back. Joel Embiid tweeted, "Okay, LOL." So I guess he thought that was about to be his teammate. So he might be feeling the pressure like, oh, they're about to bring another big in here.
I gotta get healthy.
Sixers going to draft Kristaps Porzingis. Watch.
They're going to draft my man Hazanja.
And if he don't become Dirk, that means the Sixers got 10 more years of me as a fan. Because if he don't become Dirk in the next 10, done.
I'm out.
Done.
Yo, my man Hazanja can go in the little 3 clips I've seen of him.
I don't know where you are with that one, but I'm definitely surprised by that one. Like I said, even though I saw it on some boards, I'm surprised with that one.
Yo, I'm shocked. Yo, here's my thing. I didn't think that I thought Moutier and Russell were fighting over the 3, 4, and 5 spot. I didn't think there was any way either of those two could make it into the top 2. Really top 3. I didn't think they were going to go top 3. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Very interesting. And it's about to get more interesting now because the hometown pick is in. So we're about to see how our hometown is about to react because, Philly fans don't like nothing.
Yeah, I'm hoping we take Okafor, man, because if you take Okafor, he automatically becomes our best offensive weapon. No offense to Tony Roten. I appreciate you, but
Sixers be on there. Let's push back this plan for a little while. They don't be looking for offensive weapons. They want somebody that's hurt or might not come over for a year.
Yo, that game we were at, they were featuring my man Bumshay.
Plus, if you let the Knicks get him, they're going to improve faster than us. You can't, if they get Moutier, okay, he might be good in the long run, but he's not going to cause them to automatically get better right away. Right. You can't let them drop to the New York Knicks. You can't. Yeah. You got to let them get Moutier or Porzingis or somebody and take their chances on the next Dirk. Here we go.
Yeah. There it is. It's in.
Oh, R.I.P. Harvey Pollack. Greatest statistician the league has ever seen. Wow, they showed the old school pictures of him. He died at 93, so he don't look like that no more. Yeah, so it's a lot of suspense surrounding this pick because we got a lot of support in the Philly area, a lot of listens from the Philly area, being 5 guys from Philly.
Shout out to the crib.
I'm getting all kinds of texts and tweets and Facebook messages and everything is going crazy right now. People trying to get opinions on where they're going to go with this and how these picks kind of fell into their lap because they thought D'Angelo Russell was the pick. So the commissioner is really drawing this out right now with his tribute to Harvey Pollack. Harvey deserves it, but you got a whole city in suspense right now.
Let's go.
You got a whole city in suspense right now. And I keep forgetting for a minute that we're on the radio because we kept stopping to listen to what he's saying. All right, here we go.
All right.
Jahlil Okafor.
The world.
They did what they had to do. That's a great problem to have. You got 3 bigs who, think about it, all 3 of these guys were supposed to be the number 1 picks in the draft. So the Sixers keep getting lucky in that regard. So my thing is this: sort it out. Let them all play. Sort it out. Somebody come off the bench. Sort it out. Whoever plays better is the starter. But it's like
somebody come off the bench. No, pack Nerlens Noel's bag and
it's too early for that. It's way too early for that. I think you have to see how it's going to play out. You pack Nerlens Noel bags right now, and then Embiid never plays again because he has the same foot injury. Yeah, that's like sideline big men for good. Yeah, so
I said that earlier. You got to
you definitely keep him. It's a great problem to have. Even if Embiid gets on the court, you sort them out and see who's the best. You see if somebody is worth trading and what you can get for him. If not, bring somebody off the bench. Like Nerlens, these dudes aren't. They're all except for Nerlens are going to. They're both going to be rookies, and Okafor and Nerlens is going to be in his second season. None of y'all have made your stamp in the NBA. None of them are superstars. Let these dudes play it out. Like if somebody's coming off the bench, like who are they to complain? You have not made a stamp in the NBA. Okay, you come off the bench, you play hard off the bench. I think it's a great problem to have. Great problem to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who's up next? Where we at?
Well, we're about to sign off in about 2 minutes, but Orlando's on the clock now. But I'm sorry, New York's on the clock now, and then Orlando after them. So New York, I'm figuring Moutier or Kristaps, but we got Phil Jackson running it now. I'm not sure. I mean, Phil Jackson coached Tony Kukoc. He coached Pau Gasol, so I don't think he's necessarily afraid of the European player, but he's in a real pressureful position right now because of what the Knicks have been, in the past few years and what it is exactly that he has to turn around.
With what they have and the situation with Carmelo, if you could get a 6'8" small forward shooting guard to fit into that triangle, I'm taking him. I'm not even messing with Moutier because I don't have that other piece. You have Jordan, you have Pippen, and then whoever else. I'm taking Melo.
Okafor probably like, damn, I gotta go to Philly. Damn. How the Lakers do me?
I gotta go to LA. I was trying to see the stars. I gotta go to that dirty little city. Oh man. Welcome to Lil Okafor.
That's the thing, man. If these dudes turn out to be what they're supposed to be, the Sixers would have gotten really lucky and came up in the last 3 drafts, man. Because remember, Noel was supposed to be the consensus number 1 pick until he got injured. Embiid was supposed to be the consensus number 1 pick until he got injured. Jahlil Okafor, he just dropped for whatever reason. I like it. It's a good problem to have, man. I'm going to keep saying that, but it's definitely a good problem to have. But look, the problem we have is that we're out of time. So we're going to have to watch the rest of this NBA draft offline and not on the air with you guys. But it has been real as it's always been every week. We love to do this for you guys, and we love the support that you give us. So thanks for joining us again in the War Room, good folks. Shout out to everybody in the chat room on Facebook, Twitter, all the calls. Next week, same time, same place, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network for more great sports talk. NFL talk will start to ramp up in preparation for training camps later in July. So until then, enjoy your week. We'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook, Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the
always.
We'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the box course. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, DJ, Jack Beck, B. Austin. I'm Jack. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.